Okay. Oh, alright, that's what that is. I've got to clean in here so bad. Alright. I haven't had time. Everything's been happening. It's art day, you guys. Woohoo! And hopefully Twitch will decide that we're live at some point here. Twitch and Stream Elements. There we go. Alright. So, we have one more tree. Somebody's car alarm's going off. We have one more tree to go. And a little bit of yellow on our snow here, reflecting our light from our windows. See if we can get that airy enough. Hopefully. Alright, so I hope everybody's had a good weekend. I don't remember much of the weekend. We had a family issue Thursday night and a Friday. Where my dad wasn't acting quite right again, and he was calling. We have a intercom system on our phone, so he called me at like 3 a.m. and started bitching at me that he couldn't sleep and everything else that was wrong. I'm like, do you need to go to the emergency room? I'm like, what do you want me to do about this? I was like, you're going to urgent care one way or another tomorrow. Just to remind you, because we had told him that that was going to happen. And then he started coughing and he put the phone down and he finished coughing up whatever, and then he's trying to talk to me and he's really far away, and Russell grabbed the phone and is trying to talk to him. And then he went in there and he's like, you know you're talking to her and you're not even holding the phone. And he wasn't following conversations again. So we're like, ugh. So we thought he was going to have to go to the emergency room that night. He should have. He was arguing with us. And Russell was like, fine, but if you end up having to get an ambulance because you can't get there under your own power or can't get out to the car, he's like, don't bitch at me about it. And when Russell was going to get up and take him to urgent care right when they opened at 8 a.m. So I stayed up till 7 to wake up Russell. And Russell went to go tell him to start eating and getting his pills and stuff, and he was asleep. So we're like, okay. So Russell went back to bed. He's like, fuck it. He fell back asleep. We'll deal with it in a couple of hours. And then when my dad woke up, he's like, I think I need to go to the emergency room. So it's been a day. It's been a weekend. Ugh. Alright, so we kind of have, oh, that's not bad. We kind of have that guy in, so we've got one more to go. Now my snow's not as thick as Bob's is in places. Just didn't feel like we needed it quite that thick. Alright, so where are we going to position this guy? He's kind of sitting in between both of these. Alright. So this might require a little bit of fussing to get this guy in. Now this guy, I might have to add some of our chocolate brown on top of it. Just to make him a little bit darker, because he is pretty dark. He seems darker than the other ones. That might just be because I'm looking at it and comparing it to our shade on our trees, since I went with a slightly different color than Bob went with. But, you know, we'll see how we do. So they ended up taking my dad to the emergency room, and they ended up keeping him. But not for what we thought was going on. We thought his pneumonia had not completely gone away. They said his blood count was way too low. Way too low. So they kept him, and they gave him 2 bags of blood. Or they were in the process of doing that when they took him up to a room. Because they're like, you're losing blood somewhere and we don't know what the fuck's going on. So they had kept him. And then decided that he needed a 3rd bag of blood after he had the other 2, because they still didn't like the numbers that he was at. And come to find out, he had stopped taking one of his medications. To help him go to the bathroom, because his other medications make that difficult. And plus he has diverticulitis and all kinds of stuff. And one of the side effects from that one medication was that I think it kept his liver functioning, or kept the cirrhosis of the liver that he has idle or dormant or inactive or something, which was weird, but okay. And he stopped taking it. And Russell and I are like, why did he stop taking it? And Russell goes, I don't know, somebody told him to. And I'm like, did somebody really tell him to, or did he not want to pay for it? And because he's done that before too. And I was like, oh, you know what? The last time he was in the hospital, and like they kept him, they think his diverticulitis was bleeding. He was like having like stomach bleeding and or intestinal bleeding or something. And they're like, I was like, I wonder if they told him to stop taking it temporarily, and he thought they meant to stop taking it permanently. And Russell's like, oh. He goes, you know, I think I vaguely remember something about that, and nobody like followed up with anybody about, hey, can I start taking this again? And I didn't know they had told him to stop taking it. And my mom's like, I can't tell you the last time he took it. I don't remember when the last time he took it was. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, well, that explains a bit. This guy's thicker than this, so well, let's work on getting him in place, I guess. Yeah, because I kind of want him to be a little bit thicker. So I might be getting my beta fish in March. Maybe. I have to clean my desk here and reorganize all of the things. Put some stuff away that I'm not using right now. Get rid of the dust bunnies. And the multitude of other nonsense that has accumulated. And I have to see how many plugs I have available on my surge protector. I might need to get a secondary, or I might need to get a bigger one. I have to actually see what I have plugged in, though. Because we have a little tiny desktop tank that we're probably just going to reuse. So I was going to get a new tank altogether. Just like a little something to sit on my desk, but even those have skyrocketed. And I really don't want to do water changes every 3 days. With the whole plant and shebang, and so many plants are toxic to cats. And these asshole cats of ours will totally eat it or try to rip it out or do something, probably knock the whole vase over, so. The other thing they can't knock over, it's too wide of a base. I have the window open slightly, so traffic might be a little extra obnoxious. It was really warm in our room today. Hopefully the sun will get rid of the last of the ice that's hanging around. Because that wasn't fun. We had to walk to the grocery store a couple times down the street from us. We were sliding all over. And that gave my back quite the angry sensations, man. Because my sneakers are shit, right? Like the tread on the bottom is like non-existent, and I wasn't expecting to have to trek through ice in them. But it was sneakers or Crocs, and I'm like, I should probably put my sneakers on. I probably would have been better off in the Crocs, because the Crocs had a better tread on them than the sneakers. Which is really, really sad. It's not like they were Keds or anything, they were like full on. Like regular sneakers, but I didn't even think to look at the tread on the bottom when I bought them. Or when I picked them out for Christmas. Rather, but like every time I went to push off on the ground with like the ball of my foot, I could just feel like my foot like going whoop, and I was like, oh damn, like this is not good. And then I paid for it dearly, and I was trying to shovel the sleet out of the driveway so we could get the car out before it got more solid, because we were expecting a third round of snow and sleet and shit, but it ended up staying further south and then went to our east. We never actually got any more somehow. Not quite sure how we managed that. just trying to make sure this is actually attached in here. So this bottom section, I really want that to be a little bit thicker. Here, so okay. So I hope everybody's had a good weekend. We should be finishing this one today. Sorry, I'm shedding everywhere. I shed about as much as the dogs and the cats. Alright. So yeah, I just want to bulk this guy out a little bit. Like Bob says, his foot down here that he's gonna stand on. He calls it his foot. His foot's too tiny for the rest of him here, I feel like. There we go. And then the mother-in-law left yesterday, but she's supposed to be back tomorrow with her car. She's finally taking her car back from her sister. I'm like, your mom, there's too many appointments overlapping here. I was like, your mom needs her car back, and her sister's just gonna have to go, because this is getting ridiculous. We've had to cancel and reschedule too many fucking doctor's appointments on top of each other in the past like 3 weeks because everybody keeps scheduling without knowing what the other person's doing. I was like, this is dumb and I can't handle it anymore. Your mom's sister is just gonna have to borrow your other aunt's car, because the car's probably not even moving, and she's probably only using it like once every 3 or 4 days on a whim. It's your mom's car. She needs her car. I've had to play car key keeper because she was starting to just go, and I'm like, you can't just go, because Russell was leaving them in the kitchen. I'm like, we need to know what you're doing, because there's times where the parentals are like, can you go get us X? We need to know if we can go get X, if we can't go get X, and when we can go get X. Like, you need to not just be running away with the car. Sorry, there was like a dog hair, cat hair or something in there. Alright, so we've got our tree trunky in. Like our main tree trunky. Alright, so what's everybody up to today? You guys doing good? What's your plans? What did you do over the weekend? There wasn't a podcast this weekend, so I didn't have to do podcast shenanigans. So that was lovely. It was quite lovely, actually. But I did keep myself busy. I had video that I was editing all day. Well, actually, Saturday was a very strange day. Very strange day yesterday. Because where do we want you to be? You're still kind of a thick boy, so I think we'll start you around here. Didn't get to bed till late, very late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Like, I think it was like almost 3 or 4 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. I was wide awake, I guess from staying up till 7 in the morning the night before. Or day before. And, so I'm laying there, finally managed to fall asleep around like 7:30. And I don't know what woke me up. I'm trying to remember now. Something woke me up. I think the husband got up maybe, and that's what woke me up. So I was like, oh, what time is it? And then I think I had to pee. I think it was around 9:30. 9:30, 10:30, something like that. And then, he was gonna do Planet Zoo at 12, and I was like, okay. And I'm trying to math it out in my head. I'm like, if I fall back asleep now, I could probably get like a small nap in, and then I can get up and do stuff for him while he's streaming and mod and shit. And I got settled and I was trying to fall back asleep, and I said to him, when's your mom leaving? And he goes, I don't know. I was like, alright, because her sister was coming to pick her up. And just about fell back asleep, and then I hear Zuzu yipping, and it like adrenaline shot me, and I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And I'm like, why is he yipping? It sounds like he's being murdered. And he's like, oh. He goes, my mother's playing with the dog. I'm like, really? I'm fucking trying to sleep, and she's like getting the dog all riled up in the room right next to ours. Really? And he goes, I've told her before. So the dog finally stops. I'm trying to fall back asleep. It's not working. I'm getting frustrated. And then I started to fall back asleep again finally, and then I start to hear loud voices talking, and it's out of place loud voices. Like, I can sleep through Russell streaming. I'll keep waking up and surfacing because someone's talking, but I don't get like that adrenaline rush of, why do I hear voices that don't belong? You know, kind of thing. Like, I'm used to him doing the thing, so it's like, okay, cool, we're fine. And this was just bizarre, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh, the mother-in-law's out on the porch talking to my mom. And that's where she stayed for like 40 minutes, waiting for her sister to come and get her. And I was like, well, I'm up now. And then I think I did end up falling back asleep late. Like, I was like, I can't function, so I think I slept through the husband's Planet Zoo stream. And he woke me up to tell me that he was spinning for our new biome, because he wrapped up his area and I had wrapped up my area late Friday night. It's recorded. I'm working on those videos. That's what I was doing yesterday. I figured I would just wait and edit them all in one go. Save me some time. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna roll the new thingy. And I was like, oh, okay. So he told me the new biome. Shit, I forget how many critters he said we had to have. I feel like it's 7, but I could be wrong about that. I don't really remember. I'm gonna have to ask him again what he rolled. Or go back and watch the end of the VOD. Now, he's streaming that on his channel now, so if you guys were watching the Planet Zoo husband-wife build-off series. He's streaming on Saturday morning, afternoon, around noon or 1 Central. He's streaming that on his channel now. His next stream day is Monday, and he'll be back with RimWorld on Monday night. The only 2 days now that I can try to squeeze in any extra bonus content are going to be Sunday night or Thursday night. Because we were trying to figure out, you know, when I can stream working on the zoo file. And those are pretty much the only times where I wouldn't be interfering with him. So we might be back later tonight, and I stress might. It really depends on how I feel. I feel like I have a slight headache at the moment. We'll see. We'll see how I feel after dinner and dishes and everything are cleaned up. Oh, excuse me. But we might be starting the new biome. I might be kicking off the new biome tonight. We'll see. I need to get the file back from him. He showed me how to do it once, but I don't know if he's got it on the portable to transfer over yet, or not. Alright, that looks pretty good there. Okay. Like, I'm not gonna go too crazy on that guy, so I'm gonna put that color aside for a moment. Alright, now I feel like I have a color missing. Why? I didn't put it back on the wall. Oh, it's over there. I've got so many bags of fluff I have to refill here. It's ridiculous. We went through a lot of fluff on this project. I still have Christmas yarn I have to fluff. I got wrapped up in trying to catch up to the husband recording it off stream to try to make it go a little bit faster. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this guy. Right. Although that's gonna lay on top of the cabin, so no, we're not gonna do that, because then it's gonna look funny. I'm gonna lose half of it. We could go black on there, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. That might be too weird. That might be way too weird. Yeah, alright. It sounded good in my head until I laid it down on top, and I'm like, oh wait, no. No. Change of plans. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab some white fluff then, and work on getting our snow in here. Never mind. So am I in frame? Kind of. That's a crunchy section. We've got a lot of fiber in there. Alright, just want to make sure that I'm actually attaching in most of the spots at least. Oh, again, this is going to be difficult with the white of the roof in the background. We might lose a little bit of it, of definition on the tree. Maybe not though, but maybe a little. Yeah, so I spent yesterday starting to edit all of the, well actually I started to edit the Planet Zoo videos Friday night after I finished working on my section. And something just kept like pinging in the back of my brain of I wasn't doing something right, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like I kept feeling like I was missing something. There was a disconnect somewhere, and I'm just like, something feels off. But what? What am I forgetting? And then I got into bed, the magical place where you remember everything that you were supposed to do and didn't. And I remembered that I had started naming the saved chunks of recording on working on the Duo Zoo. And then it got to a point where because I was naming it and transferring it to my portable hard drive, and I forgot what number I was on. Like I got up to 6 and then couldn't remember because I was chopping the video in like an hour and a half to 2 hour chunks, or trying to, just to keep my computer from screaming in agony. And it got to a point where I couldn't remember what number I was on when I was saving it, because I saved it and transferred it off immediately, and I didn't feel like hopping back and forth to see what number I was on, so I just started letting it save as the date. So since I was naming the files zoo part whatever, it went to the bottom of my save list on my hard drive. And when I started pulling the files off to edit them, I was looking at it, I'm like, is this really where I started the recording sessions? Because, I don't know, something feels missing. Like, I feel like I'm missing a chunk. Is this really where I started this? No, it wasn't where I started this. I grabbed the first date file at the top of the list instead of, the named shit, and I didn't remember that I had the named shit until I got into bed, so then I had to kill everything that I had edited earlier before I had gone to bed. I was like, damn it! So, of course, and had to kind of start over editing yesterday afternoon. But I got 2 of those. I got 2 sessions, or I put it into 2 different sessions so far. It's not all of it that's up on YouTube right now. It's 2 sessions. I still have like 11 chunks of video that I need to edit down. It's probably going to be 3 more parts depending on how much gets cut out. Where, if I walked away and forgot to hit pause on recording, or got distracted by something, or, got up to get a snack and forgot to hit pause, or I'm sitting there eating my snack. I was like, oh shit, I'm still recording. I guess it's better to be recording and not doing anything than to hit pause to get up to get a snack and come back and start building again and forgot that I had hit pause. So I've done that before. I'll suddenly have like large chunks of video missing on something, and it's like, yeah, I forgot to hit record. Sorry. It happens. But no, I've got all that sorted, so we might come back tonight. Maybe. Make sure you have your notifications turned on here. It wouldn't be till, dinner. If we stop around 5 to make dinner dishes, it might not be till like 9 o'clock till I could get back. For those that wanted to see that, if I get back tonight. It's gonna very much be bonus content, since I don't know if I'm getting back tonight. I'm just trying to lay some snow down on the edge of this tree. Just a little bit. Where it might have gotten hung up or stuck in the barky barks and things. Alright, and we might be starting the next one in this session. Most likely. Alright, so what is your favorite art medium to work with? Anybody have a favorite? I still enjoy painting quite a bit. I haven't painted in a while though. I really need to finish this paint by number that I got eons ago. I've not had time to finish it. And then I was thinking, you know, I probably should have worked on that while I was waiting for the video to encode last night, so I think I'll do that Monday night, because that's probably going to be the next time I have to edit video, or let it encode if it starts to encode and render before I'm ready to go to bed. So I was just kind of sitting here at a loss last night. I'm like, okay, the first round of video encoding took like an hour and a half, and the first half hour I just kind of sat here and dicked around and checked on other stuff that I needed to do that I could do without needing to do something on my computer, and then I went and did dishes, and when I came back it was almost done. So now I was just catching up watching a past live stream that I had missed on something. But the second one, I was like, how long are you gonna take? And the husband was still up, so I could have, in theory, worked on it. Alright, so I think we need, I was about to put that back in the bag. I was like, I think we're done, but no, we need to do a little more snowing down here around our footy foot. A little bit gathered around down in here. And then we'll try to sign this guy, which is the difficult part. That might be the hardest part of all, is designing these guys. So I'm just gonna get this bit of snow worked into here. Do we need any more there? I don't know. Good enough. Alright, so we have to figure out what color we want to sign this in. And I'm really not sure what color would be best. Because if we shine it down here, I don't know. I guess we could go black. I mean, I guess. Alright, so this is the really tricky part. I mean, it might be easier if I sewed it, but okay, so let's see if we can get this to work here. Maybe. I don't think I signed the last one. I don't think I remembered to. Okay, so there's one initial. It's really hard to see, but it's there. You can see it in person. The camera's just not picking it up that great. Because it's so small in here. So I've got 2 sessions of me working on our duo zoo up on YouTube. The second one just went up before we got started. Later tonight I'll probably have the stream from Friday going up. The solo zoo where we finished the hippity hoppity house. That frog is still so creepy and monstrous and derpy. Like, what on earth possessed me to even attempt to do that? I have no idea. Alright, just putting my little symbol together here. Our little paw print for the critters. So, I'm probably gonna have to download this episode. I was gonna have to download it anyway. And then, chop it into when I go to do the speed file. Oh gosh, now I have to do this edit. Oh my goodness. For someone that hates editing video, I suddenly have a lot of video to edit. Ugh. That's okay. We got this one done a session sooner. Okay, so let me see if I can. Then there. Alright, so there's our signature right there in the corner. Alright, I'm gonna stick you right there for just the moment. I need scissors that are gonna cut here. Alright, so we have to kind of figure out how we want to approach this. Hang on, let me take these guys off so I can feel if I'm about to, you know, cut myself. Sorry, I'm looking at this and I'm like, did I completely lose all of it? This isn't the... No, this isn't the 8x10. This is the 5x7. And this is not the 5x7. What did I do with you? There you are. Alright. That's the 5x7 insert. Oh. Well, where's the 8x10 insert? What did I do with it? Oh. Okay. Ooh. Look at your glass. Oh, did this get that? Hang on. Let me move you. Did we get that spread out? I thought we had stayed pretty good there. Apparently not. Trying to cut this straight. It doesn't seem to be working all that well. Alright. I mean, it's still a little wonky, but we're gonna roll with it. It still might be too big for this frame. I thought we had measured this out pretty good. So I have little scissors and they don't want to glide across the top because they're getting stuck in the fluff from underneath. Ah, what the hell? Something just went flying. I don't know what. There it is. Oh, it was a piece of black fuzz that we didn't end up using. Alright, now I'm not going to fuss too hard to get it real super even, because, you know, once this gets framed, these top edges, well, actually all of the side edges, they're not going to be that visible, right? So... Sorry, I have to make sure I'm like opening these guys properly instead of just, you know, skimming along like I would with a piece of paper. Okay. And lastly, ooh, this is a thick boy. These scissors are pissed. They're like, no, I'm not cutting that. Okay. I'm just giving him a haircut here on the back. Just to clean up this a little bit. Since we've got some of this trying to hang down from the bottom. Alright, let's see. And get all of this in our little fiber can here. I didn't replace my trash bag yet this morning. I got rid of it last night. I'm like, oh, this guy's full. We need a new one. Alright, so that's him with all of his edges dismantled. Now, this is just a cheapy frame from Dollar Tree that I got just for like quick demo-y purposes. So it's probably not gonna fit the greatest. Oh yeah, check that out. That's not fitting. What the heck happened? Like, this side is... Oh, okay. So that's not fitting. What happened? We measured it out 8 by 10. So yeah, I definitely would need a mat on this guy then to help hold him in place and to cover the gap on the bottom. But that's basically what he would look like. Framed, he'd probably look better in a lighter frame. But this was supposed to be 8 by 10. And he's not quite fitting. That bottom got a little away from us, so somehow the bottom's not. I followed our line. And the bottom's just a little short on that, but you slap a mat on that guy and he'll be fine. So Alright. Definitely have to be without the glass though. He's too thick to be in there with the glass. So that little tiny strip of solid color in there, that's our felt piece. Everything else is all fluff and fiber. I'm really mad because we had that straight. You guys watched me measure it. Maybe we should just trace the glass this time. We might just, actually. Alright. So, we'll put that one in the drawer. And we need to grab our next... Nope, that's the wrong stuff. There we go. That was the shorty ones. Alright, now we're gonna measure the glass this time. So there's no shenanigans. Alright. Now. This one I'm really not looking forward to at all. Okay, so we'll get you lined out in here. Hi, Zuzu. You don't have to leave, I'm just saying hello. Oh my goodness. Brat. Alright, so next time we're gonna make sure that we still fit the frame. I mean, it's fiber. It's gonna pull and shrink a little bit, so yeah. Just put a mat on that sucker and it's fine. It's just the nature of the beast. Let me cap that. Sorry, I'm real nervous with this piece of glass here. Get this guy secured. Since we used the glass to trace around this time, there shouldn't be any room for any wiggly shenanigans and all that. So, which could have happened since we measured off the backing the last time. So, okay. So this is our 9x12 sheet of felts from Joann's, not sponsored. And grab our mat here. I'm gonna do a quick scrape on our mat. Just want to get some of this extra blue off of here. We're going to a completely different color. I just want to try to get some of this extra blue fluff that's embedded itself off the top. Gosh, the amount of glitter I'm seeing still stuck in this pad. Unbelievable. This X-Acto blade is sharp. Please be careful. I'm not trying to cut my mat. I'm just scraping the surface. Watch your fingers. Do not let your kids do this. This is a very sharp thing. Matt got away from me. Alright. Niece, are you stalling? Maybe. I might be. I'm not feeling this next one at all. I have to load the next one up. It's weird. We've never finished one and then jumped into the next one right away in the same session, I don't think. For some reason, doing this also seems to help this guy lay back a little bit flatter. Or at least that seems to be what's happening. There's a lot of fiber in this guy. Like, I'm gonna have to replace this mat at some point. I do know that. I have accepted that. But it's still lasted longer, I think, than a foam mat would have with the amount of abuse that we put it through. I mean, if you're just doing like the little figurine guys, probably won't need to replace it that much if you go with this type of mat. But because of what we're doing and the amount of fiber getting stabbed in and stuff, we're gonna have to place it periodically, I believe. Alright, last go. There's still a bit of lawn to get mowed here on this section. Alright, I wasn't planning on making this a thorough cleaning session, but alright, that might be pretty good. And you can still see some colors from past projects and things. Like we still have a large section of green embedded in here. I think from the last Bob Ross one we did, so that's been hanging pretty tough in there. Alright, this is our other side of our mat. I hadn't been flipping them over and using one side more than the other. Although at this point we've got this little concave bowl in here. I don't know if we should. I don't know what'll happen if we do. I don't know, should we? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that will kill the mat faster entirely or not. I mean, we've certainly got this side well worn. I mean, we could try. Alright, where's my lid? Where's my lid? Because I mean, there's a lot of blue in here, but there's also gray. which might be part of the fuzz from the mat itself, although it is a lot of blue. So, alright, let me stuff you into there. This guy is a portrait, so we're gonna have to adjust the cam here. Where's my mouse? There it is. Live cam. Alright, so camera's gonna get a little weird here for a second. Apologies. Oh, that's barely in there. Oh look, you get to see all of the shit on my desk. Woohoo! Okay. So, let me pull out our test sketch. Where is it? Here it is. Alright. Okay, so we'll look at that for a minute while I figure out what the heck we're doing. Right. Let me pull up the next tutorial and reset a couple of things here while we're doing that. So we're gonna move on to tutorial number 5, Distant Hills. And of course it's going to show an ad right when I don't want it to. I do have this muted. Alright, so Bob's intro is running. This is one of the ones in this tutorial series, this one that's going up now in the credits. It's a very dark one. Okay, so Bob's welcoming us back in. He says mainly in browns, but it's a lot of alizarin crimson. So I don't understand where he's getting a lot of brown from. So he put liquid white down ahead of time. So he's taking crimson. And he's putting that like kinda like in here, right? So we've watched this one before when we were doing the sketch a little bit, I think. So he kinda gets that put in there, and then he kinda drags it out towards the bottom just barely. But it looks like I did a different color for in there, and I don't see the color that I wrote down for in there. Great. So he took a little bit of burnt umber and added it to the crimson, which doesn't help us much. Not really. And I wrote down some of the things, but I didn't apparently write down all of the things about who was what and where. So yeah, then he makes that really dark brownish on the top. Now, he's able to lighten the Van Dyke brown and give it sort of like a grayish tone mixed in with that crimson. Okay, that's where the grayish tone came from. So I'm looking at final colors when I was doing the sketchy poo. Alright, so let me finish resetting here because I need to go into Moobot here for just a second. And we need to... Nope, that's not where I want to be. I want to be in here. And we're gonna edit, so we're on episode 5 now. What did he call this one? Don't even remember. What is this, Bob? Distant Hills. Alright. I need to put you in my thingy. Distant. Oh, damn it, Moobot. I apologize if that is not spelled correctly, because Moobot wrapped it around the text kind of funny. So I thought I missed a letter. D-I-S-T-A-N. Okay, that might be right. Okay, so I just have to edit one more thing real quick. So we finished up episode 4. Starting episode 5. Okay. Okay, so we'll do that. So this is what we're moving on to. Here is the link to the new one. Season 3, Joy of Painting, episode 5, Distant Hills. This is our preliminary test piece that we're looking at right here. And my dumbass didn't line it out for what was what color, apparently. I just started writing them down here. So alright. Okay, I do have this pointing to that. I think that's light rose, but that's in a different color. I'm pretty sure this is the raspberry. And I've got white all mixed into here. Blush pink. This is probably blush pink. I didn't even write down the color for the tree, which I imagine is our chocolate brown. I guess I just gave up after that point. Because I didn't write any color for this one either. This was either supposed to be like mustard or yellow ochre color, I think. Okay, so I did have to adjust the colors a little bit off of what Bob had compared to what we have and what we can do with the fluff, right? Kind of the same deal as the one previously. This one's going to be a little bit difficult for me. This one's going to be tough, but we'll try to get it here. So he's got some different planes sketched in here. So we've got the gray at the top, and then we're going to come down into pink. Let me see if we can... I need my pen back. Alright. Okay, so... Alright. I think we're gonna start our sketchy sketch at the bottom here. I don't have enough room. Okay, so we've got a little hill coming in down through here. So I'm gonna put that in. Oh shit, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Go. Beep beep. Thank you much. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot I'm cooking dinner. And my husband went to go chill with the cat in the other room. And he might be taking a nap, and I forgot I don't have him to go check the pot. And I was like, oh shit. I need to go check the water level in the pot on the stove. Alright, so we take that down to there. Alright, so that's our bottom little hill guy. We've got another little, like, jut out. And that's kind of chill around in here. And we've got another little so like the water's like supposed to like wrap around this corner, and we've got like another hill that kind of cuts off being able to see where that's gonna go. And then back in here this is all gonna get covered up with fluff, so it's okay if we kind of sketch over some stuff, because these pen lines aren't gonna really be of any significance once the fluff gets in here. Alright, so that's like another little jutty outy thingy, and then we've got that. Alright, so we've got this guy here. Okay, we've got a section of hilly stuff like coming down to here. We've got a section in here and I don't... Oh, okay, right. I do know what that is. Now that I'm looking at it. So this is gonna look kind of confusing at first. Alright, so this is gonna be like some misty, foggy stuff in here. And then we've got like this is like more hilly stuff in here. We've got like another patch of like misty in here. And then there's kind of like another misty patch in there. And then we've got some more like background foothill kind of chilling in there. And then we've got this coming into here. And then we've got another little bit of like misty section, like kind of coming up to there. And then we've got this big guy here, right? So big guy is just kind of hanging out back in here. Okay, and then we have like our little streaky guys. And then we've kind of got our little pink and gray separation kind of happening back in here. Alright. Kinda what we're working with here, right? I know it looks really bizarre looking at it like this, and it looks like an absolute disaster. We'll see. We'll see if... I mean, when you break it down, this is kind of the shapes that we've got going on over here. We'll see what we can make happen. Alright, I'm gonna put my sketchbook to the side. We're gonna grab our mat here. Like, I don't know, should I just use the one side of the mat? Should we bother trying to do this side? We could see how it goes. Alright, we need our finger dews back. Alright, so instead of Van Dyke Brown mixing in with the Magic White and alizarin crimson, making this weird like brownish gray, we're gonna go with what color did I say we were gonna go with? I've got soft gray, medium gray, and gray mist. And I didn't write the names in the colors, so alright, I think these other two grays, I think one's the water and one's the gray on the hills, is what I'm thinking that is. I'm pretty sure the soft gray is up in the sky. So we already have the soft gray pulled out. Sorry, these clothespins I got from the dollar store are leaving a lot to be desired. Alright. They're like trying to snap in half. Like the little hingy doos are trying to come off. So, this is our soft gray. Sorry, I've got a terrible sharp hangnail. It just kind of got caught up. So, alright, so it's going to be a little tricky to see our soft gray on here, but it shouldn't be too bad. So we're going to start to work that in, up in here. We'll see how this pad tolerates being stabbed on this side. I don't think I've ever stabbed on this side. Right, well, it's a slight color difference, so we might be able to see something. Oh, I will say it feels a lot different stabbing on this side. Than it did on the other side. It's a lot firmer. Okay, and again, we'll probably have to do a couple of passes along the edges at least, just to make sure that we are where we need to be. Oh wow, that is a different texture entirely. It doesn't feel as, it feels a lot stiffer. Interesting. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. So we're going to work on getting our background colors in here. Before we do anything too super crazy. And I know I'm going over the same spots, but I really am just trying to make sure everybody is attached here. Oh my goodness, I don't think I like working on this side of the map at all. This is crazy. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how I feel about it. I really just want to flip over and use the other side, but that wouldn't be us giving this a proper chance. Now would it? Alright, I'm just getting the next bit of fluff together here. Now we are zoomed out a little bit further than we were on the piece we were just on, because this one is technically a portrait. So I want to make sure we can see what we're doing. Of course, at the moment I've got it sitting in like a landscape orientation, just so I can see my pen lines as we get started. And you're allowed to turn your work. I mean, I think we all kind of get caught up in the idea of, no, I'm painting it in this orientation. It's meant to be in this orientation in the end. So I can't turn it to save myself some trouble to work on this section. You can turn your stuff, it's fine. I mean, I'm guilty of getting in that headspace at times too. So, I mean, you can kind of see this color going in. It is a little bit lighter than our background felt, so I mean that's good in that respect. Okay, so I'm gonna finish with this bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up flipping this mat back over. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Right. So that side is definitely not used to being stabbed on, and it was much tougher and stiffer to stab in there. Like, my hand was starting to hurt or get tired. So we're gonna go back over to this side that we've already stabbed through a million times and is more used to us stabbing through it. Okay. So I'm gonna lay that down in there. So I still have some pen here on the edge, and I do want to get that covered up without losing it. So I'm gonna turn you back around this way. It looks like our weather is going to even out for a couple of days. And then I think it's either Tuesday and Wednesday, or it's Wednesday and Thursday. I think I saw rain in the forecast, but you know what? It's not snow or ice. So that's fine. Though I think either Thursday or Friday morning it said snow showers, which I was like, ugh. Can we be done with this nonsense? Rain, I'll take the rain. We need the rain. We do. Okay, so this might seem a little overkill, putting this much fluff in this particular corner. But, sorry, my hair's all over. It's touching my face and it's not long enough to pull back, but when I pull my hair back, it gives me a headache. We have found I have little clippy doos, but the clippy doos don't stay in my hair. Like, I've got the little like metal flat clips. I might have to get some tiny butterfly clips, maybe. I don't see any offhand, but the little flat metally barretti guys, they just slide right out of my hair after a little bit. Okay. So, I mean, you can kind of see that going in. That's a slightly different shade. Alright, so I'm just taking a bit of fluff and stretching out our fibery guys. We're mixing the fibers up so that they're not too stringy in places. So I still have some pen there, but I think we'll just see what happens with that. might be in a section that gets trimmed slightly, or it might not be noticeable once it's finished. All right. So I was not expecting to be done the other one quite so fast, but that one actually, I mean, yeah, it was, what, 10 live streams plus like an hour of another, if that. But husband was streaming the last day that we had worked on it, so I didn't want to run over because we were eating dinner together. I didn't want to be late getting dinner going, so he didn't have to rush. But I think this is the first time we've finished one and started one. In the same session. I think. I could be wrong about that. So it might be a couple of weeks before you see, well, maybe a month before you see the speed felt wrap up of the 4th tutorial that we followed along with. Just because I have to finish editing the Planet Zoo stuff that I recorded off stream, and it shouldn't take me that long because I don't have that much to cut out. I'm just basically speeding up, although in one of the videos that went up last night, I noticed after I finished there was a couple of sections where I'm just kind of sitting there for a minute or two where nothing seemed to be happening, and I was like, oh, how did I miss this? It's like, this should have been cut, but I didn't care enough. It wasn't that long of a pause for me to need to redo the encoding, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, it will be okay. Like, I really don't want to sit through another hour and a half of this encoding and rendering and all of the things for maybe 10 seconds of me just sitting there not doing anything. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, oh, this piece didn't really get fluffed very well at all. There's still some twisted strands in there. That's alright. Alright, I'm just kind of mushing up the fibers and getting them into a more usable piece for us here. Come on now. Okay. Alright, we've got a little patchy guy right here. Or a spot that needs to be patched. Alright, now I'm going in at a little bit of an angle in parts here. Just to try to keep that top edge as much as we can. I know we're gonna lose parts of it, along with the side edge, and I think this time before I cut, I'll put the glass down and just double check to see where our lines are, since the last one shifted a bit more than I had expected. Just to make sure. That we are still looking good with that. If I had a, oh, what are they called? I'm gonna say the wrong thing and everybody's gonna be like, no, that's not what it's called. I feel like it's called a rotary cutter. That they use for quilting, where it's like the blade on the stick, it looks like a pizza cutter. But the blade's much, much smaller. If I had one of those, that's a very strange sounding vehicle. I would just lay the glass down and then cut around the edges of it. I should probably see how much those are. I don't know if it would cut through the felt. I imagine it would. I doubt they're more than $10, but then again, everything seems to be a hell of a ton more expensive than I last remember them being. Oh, there's a piece of my hair. My hair's barely pink anymore. I really want to recolor it, but haven't had the money to. Like, the tips are still a little pink, reddish. But the rest of it is not. Alright. It's turning more gray than anything. Or like a silvery gray, which I'm okay with. I actually contemplated just dyeing it silver, but then I was like, I was reading the stuff on the back of the packaging, and it's like, this could be a problem if you need like x-rays or certain things done, and I was like, ooh, maybe we won't do that. That could be an issue. Okay, so we're back into the boring parts again, where we're just kind of blocking in our base color, but you know, you gotta get there. You gotta do the boring chunks before you can move on to the more exciting bits. That's just how that goes. All right. Oh, what was that? Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And hey, it worked. We've had some trouble with that overlay alert working lately. Thank you for the follow. I'm getting all the alerts. I think that was the course. I don't know if you guys heard that one or not, but I think that was the corresponding alert on Moobot. I don't know if that one came through. If it did, apologies. I think we had that one set up before we added the flamingo alert. Alright. So for those that missed any of the previous needle felting stuff, or any of the live streams, I do archive them on my YouTube page. It's mostly archived live streams. There's some live streams missing for whatever reasons. Either I was forgetting to export them, or something weird happened in the VOD and I didn't end up feeling comfortable enough to export it. But most of them are there. And the YouTube channel is the same name as the Twitch one, just NiseyBGN. And we've got a couple different playlists. I've got some painting playlists, or I've got a painting playlist. I've got a needle felting playlist. We've got, you know, a playlist for different series, things that we've been working on. All of the needle felting stuff is on one playlist though, like different games will have their own playlists as well. So if you want to catch up or go back and see any previous ones that we've done, feel free to check that out and subscribe and all that over there. It's free to subscribe on YouTube. It's free to follow here on Twitch. All that's greatly appreciated. And I've got the speed felts, which is all of the live streams for each of the 3 previous tutorials that we followed for Bob Ross. Those are up at the end of, like, it'll be the live streams, and then it'll be its corresponding speed felt, the live stream and its corresponding speed felt in the playlists. For those that don't want to actually go back and watch me prattle on about what the fuck ever is going on at that moment. Whatever's happening in my life at that particular time, or, you know, whatever I'm going on about. It could be anything. And the speed felts are just set to some background music. I'm sorry if the background music's quiet on the speed felts. My ears are super sensitive to sound, and when I pop it into Adobe, it's like blasting. And I'm not sure if it's the same, like if it would be the same blasting you out of your earbuds or whatever, headphones, when it got onto YouTube. So I tone it down, like way down. So if it needs to be louder, let me know. I think I raised the volume on the last 2 VODs that went up yesterday just a little bit on the background music. But now I'm especially lost with it because I got new headphones and the sound is completely different than what it was in the previous ones. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. And nobody ever says if they can hear it or not. Like, I think it's there, but I think it's like super quiet in the background, but I don't want it to, you know, be obnoxious either, so. Alright. Working on getting this in. If you hear like a weird rattling noise in the background, one of the doggos is eating their food bowls kind of behind me. House is very cramped. or should I say, the house isn't that bad, but we can't really spread out. So Russell and I are like, Russell's the husband, Mr. Bright01 or Mr. Nisey, because he changed his Twitch handle to Mr. Nisey. So, but I think in general Discord circles he's still Mr. Bright01, so it depends on how you know him by. But we feel like we could totally do tiny house living because like we're kind of crammed into our bedroom because there's just so many people in the house that we kind of have like studio apartment living down. I'd have to go, I mean, we'd probably have more storage in a tiny house than what we have now, and there's some stuff that we can get rid of that we don't really need that we'll be getting rid of at some point. I would totally be fine with the tiny house. I can't do the loft bedroom though. That would be too much. I would have to do a walkthrough of one and figure out if I could use a loft area as an office workspace. I don't know if I could. Like, how do you do desks for that? Because I don't use a laptop. We need full PC here. I've had too many bad interactions with laptops where I don't trust them anymore. So for the amount of shit that I do, I'm full on want full PC tower. Sorry if you're a laptop fan. That's cool. You can have all of my share of laptops. I'm cool with that. More for you. But I need the PC tower. So sorry, a loud tractor trailer just went by. We live on a busy road for those that are new. But I'd have, like, how would you do a desk up in a loft area? Because I've seen like a lot of the tiny house videos for, what the hell is the company called? Recreational resort cottages out of Texas. Because we're not that far from there, I don't think. We're in Arkansas. It's not that far away, but we're not near the Texas border. But the dude that does the videos, he's like 6 feet tall. So seeing him in the loft, kind of, and he's all like crouched down, I'm like, how could you use that as an office space? Like, would you buy a cheap ass desk and like saw the legs down? I'm like, how? What? Would you custom build something? And what are you doing for a chair? Are you getting those like weird gamer chairs that don't have legs, that just like sit on the floor and kind of rock back and forth? That might be interesting. But I've never sat in one of those, so I don't know. I just, my brain is befuddled about how you would do that. I'd almost want no loft, but then again, I could use loft for storage. So maybe if we could get like a 2-bedroom, and the second bedroom is just like our office workspace, that might be doable. And then like use the loft for like all of our extra bullshit that we don't necessarily need, like seasonal clothes, switching them in and out, or, you know, holiday decorations, or extra wires and computer parts. And could probably put like a little reading nook or something up there. I don't know. Because my body is terribly broken as it is. And I don't know if I could crawl around in a loft and use that as a workspace comfortably without pissing something off, so I kind of want something in between like a single wide and a tiny house. If we can get like something in that like space range, that would be good. We don't need a whole lot of square footage because we don't really have any furniture. We have a bed and our computer desks. And I'm ready for a new desk. I can't afford a new desk, but I am ready for a new one. This one's in shambles, man. We have destroyed the surface of this one. I want a different surface. I don't like this surface. It's kind of like the weird chippy board thing with like this fake like stickery wood grain on there, and apparently painter's tape is strong enough to lift up. Painter's tape that is not supposed to destroy your walls. Alright, so check this shit out. If we can see it. Some of it you can't see. So, it's all dirty and shit. So, I had put painter's tape down to paint something and to secure it onto my desk. And when I pulled the painter's tape off, it hadn't even been on there like more than a couple of hours. It peeled up whatever this is, and I'm like, what? I'm like, painter's tape isn't supposed to destroy anything or damage anything. What the fuck is this? And then it just has gotten worse from there. I've got one up underneath of my monitor stand, or the books that I'm using as my monitor stand, that I colored in, so it looked like a parrot, so I made it a parrot. But I'm just like, yeah, I need a different surface desk. I'm very harsh on my work surfaces, so I need like the old school like drafting table, art desk, hard, can take a beating, plasticky covering feel to it. I don't know what the fuck is on there. Is it like, it's not really, I don't know if it's laminate or not, but you know, whatever that surface is that feels like it can take a beating. Almost like, you know, the tables in like school computer lab or whatever. Like that kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. I need something that I can clean and wipe up paint or anything off of, or even if the paint stays, that's fine. I just need something that the top surface isn't gonna just peel right off. I'm really mad about that. This desk was not cheap. I want to say this desk was like $200 or more than $200, and I'm like, really? Really? What the fuck shit is this? $200 desk. $200 plus desk. And this shit's peeling up off of it? I saw 2 new desks that I would like to get on Amazon, but I have to measure to see, number one, if they would even fit. They might be bigger than I'm thinking they are, and since my possible work area that I have in this house is small, I have to see if that would be too big. Because I have potentially a couple of extra inches to work with that I'm technically not utilizing at the moment, but I don't know. First step would be measuring, but those are a long way from ever happening. Sorry, my chair is creaky. I tend to rock back and forth a lot in my chair. I don't even realize I'm doing it half the time. And this chair really wasn't meant for that at all. It's not a rock chair. It was the cheapest chair that was gonna help my situation with my tailbone that I could afford. That's how we ended up with that. So I will say, it is a little bit tougher to see the thin spots with these shades so close to each other. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Hold on. I will be right back. Something happened in the other room. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry. I didn't realize the husband had gotten up from his nap attempt in the other room. And I heard him yell. I was like, what the hell's going on? Apparently, we have 2 drying racks for our dishes because there's so much dish action happening in this house with all of the people living here. So we have one on the counter next to the sink for it to, you know, the kind that drips the water down into it. And then we have a second cheap one on what should be a kitchen table, but it's not because we need to use it for counter space. And we just have some towels sitting under that. And as our overflow dish rack, and one of the cats has suddenly decided that that's their new sleeping place. And Russell had to yell at him to get down because he was trying to climb into the clean dishes that haven't been put away yet and trying to sleep in there with them. And he's like, no, get the fuck down. I don't know why they've suddenly got it, or why this particular one suddenly has it in his head that that's okay. So we don't let them up on there. We chase them down every time they're on that particular surface. But this one just has an attitude and he's like, I don't give a shit. He's the one that's always getting in trouble, Mr. Cow. So, Mr. Cow the cat. Alright. Oh, picked up a piece of glitter. I swear, I'm gonna be finding this glitter until next Christmas. Hopefully I don't have to re-glitter anything next Christmas. I didn't spray seal all of the snowflake ornaments that we glitterified? Yeah, I guess so. That we glitterified for the Christmas tree this past Christmas. You guys didn't see that. I did that off stream. I couldn't stream that. That was gonna be a holy hot mess. And I don't know why I glitterified them. I mean, I like the sparkly of the glitter. I just hate dealing with it. It's like the bane of my existence. I'm like, no. too much trauma, too much glitter trauma from working at the craft store during fourth quarter holiday Christmas season. And just standing there and just shaking out my work shirt and just watching the glitter rain down and shaking my hair and just it looked like glittery snow falling. I'm like, ugh, this is gross. I'd go home and leave trails of glitter everywhere. I'm like, God damn it. No matter how much I shook it out of my shirt before leaving the building, somehow, some way, by the time I got home, more glitter decided to leach out of my shirt. So I used to work for AC Moore. They've since gone bankrupt and have closed, but they were similar to Michael's. I know not a lot of people have probably heard of them because they were more of an East Coast craft chain. But I worked for them for about 6.5 years, I think. And I merchandised the kids' craft department. Well, no, I started out as afternoon into evening cashier / floor person, putting up whatever extra freight was left and stuff, and straightening and things. And then I moved up to merchandising the kids craft section, and then I briefly transferred stores for about 6 months and was learning how to merchandise the artificial flower department. And then I went back to my original store, long story, and ended up running the customer service desk, and then was a front end supervisor, and then was doing cash office on top of it. So I've done a fair bit of stuff, but I hated running the customer service desk and doing the front end stuff. I hated it. There was no escaping when people get to be too much when you're running that up there. You can't just walk away and recollect yourself for a moment. That was... Some days it was like swimming in shark-infested waters, especially on the weekend. Because even though we were slammed on the weekend, you'd have store manager calling up front asking for the hourly sales report, and I'm like, you can't come up and do this. You can't like leave your little office den and just come do this because I'm fucking busy. Like, we had to try to get the report run close to on the hour, and I'm like, do you not see these lines? I know you see these lines. You're looking at me through the camera in the office. You can see how bad these lines are. Do I really need to stop and math this report right fucking now? I mean, mathing is not my strong suit, number one. I'm dyslexic, I transpose numbers a lot, words, letters, you know. It's tough some days. Some letters, some numbers are tougher than others. I'm more consciously aware of me doing it now, so I know to like triple check, but even sometimes when I'm triple checking myself, some numbers remain in the wrong place. And so that's bad enough. And then, you know, doing it under pressure where you're being yelled at to get more cashiers up. Why do we have lines? Because you wanted your damn report. That's why we have lines, okay? I can't concentrate on this and do that at the same time. That's not happening, okay? You're more than welcome to march your little ass out of the office and come up here and do it when you see how fucking busy it is. Unless there's a damn good reason that you can't come up here and do this, aside from the fact that you don't want to deal with people. Yeah, people are gonna ask you questions because we're that busy. Like, you know. Like, come on, guy. Sometimes the assistants would come up and do it if they weren't slammed doing something else. I just got real irritated when they're expecting us to have this done when it's that fucking busy. Because they're screaming at us, no more than 3 people in a line. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. That person has a purchase order. That person has a return. That person has a return. That person has an exchange that has to go through me because it's complicated. And then I need to make sure of certain things on that one. And then that person has another purchase order. The kids are on break. So what you see is what you get, sir. This is it, aside from the people working at the ribbon center and the floral department that don't do register because someone has to be on the floor. There were days where I just wanted to, you know, lay into some of those guys because they were getting a little full of themselves, and I was like, you know what? You can do it. I'm going home. No, I would have been fired. Although, funny story about that. Some people, I've told this story. I think I've told this story before. One of my coworkers on the weekend, I did cash office on the weekend. So doing cash office on the weekend meant that I had to come in at buttfuck early o'clock with one of the store managers, with one of the assistant managers, at like, oh god, what was it, Saturday, I think it was. I had to be there at 7 a.m. and I think Sunday I had to be there at 7:30 in the morning. And that was tough for me because I took the bus. So I had to leave early or get a ride from somebody on the weekend. Usually on the weekend I could get dropped off. Usually. If I had to take the bus on the weekend, it was a whole ass production, and I would have had to like leave my house at like 5:30 in the morning because of bus transfers and things. So I get there and I'm starting to count down the registers from the night before and reset them, and I'm working on trying to I get that done, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to make sense of the deposit for Armored Car that was coming soon, and because I had to be done by a certain time for Armored Car to get there. We never knew when they were coming, just like a time frame, roughly, and even then sometimes that changed because they would change it up for security purposes or what have you. But I had you must be done by this because they will be showing up anytime after here kind of situation. And they needed me up front because I did double duty on Saturdays. I wasn't strictly cash office, I was cash office, and then I had to go do front end for breaks and things and just generally helping. So Saturdays I did like 7 to 3. Was it 7 to 3? 7 to 3:30? Something like that. It might have been 3. And I'm in the back, locked in the office, and the assistant manager unlocks the door, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, are the tills done? I'm like, yeah, they're right there. So he took the shopping cart to tills and was going to take them up front. He goes, where's so-and-so? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I've been back here. I mean, like, how am I supposed to know where they are? And they're like, you haven't heard from them? I'm like, I haven't taken any calls from them. As far as I know, nobody's called out this morning. He's like, well, they're not here yet. I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I said, if you want to finish the deposit, be my guest. And he's like, no, I don't want to finish the deposit. He's like, you finish it. Just, you know, hurry, because I don't know where they are. So that particular coworker was supposed to be front end, customer service, to open the store, to give me time to finish what I was doing, because I wasn't probably going to be done for another hour and a half with all the shit I had to do. Because I had to balance the safe, get the deposit ready, and then they had to come verify the deposit, and all that shit. Fill out deposit slips, all that happy bullshit. And I'm sitting back there, and he called me again like a half hour later. He goes, how close to being done are you? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe 20 more minutes. I just have to, like, finish writing this and balance the safe, or make sure the safe is balanced. And then one of you can come verify the deposit. I'm like, what's the problem? And they're like, so-and-so's still not here. Like, you sure you haven't heard from them? I'm like, I haven't heard from them. And they're like, okay, well, you know, hurry. And I was like, all right. So I got done as fast as I could. I think I was supposed to work on typing up the return, or not the returns, the damaged goods list for the reports, to keep track of, you know, stuff that had broken, stuff that had been store used, that kind of stuff. Stuff that came in broken, stuff that dropped off of shelf, you know, stuff that customers brought back that wasn't right. And I was supposed to be typing that up, and I'm like, well, I guess that ain't happening today. And I was like, I'll have to get it tomorrow. And I told them this, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. So the store manager ended up verifying the deposit instead of the assistant, because the assistant was running customer service. And I get up there, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And they're like, where is she? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not her keeper. I don't know her phone number. I don't know where she lives. I don't know anything. So they're like, what time do you take lunch? And I told them, I was like, I'm supposed to go to lunch here. And they're like, all right, can you go a little bit later? And I'm like, well, I mean, I usually go when they show up. Or no, we were both there on Saturday. So I was like, well, I mean, I'm supposed to go here. I leave here. Like, I leave at 3. I don't know how late you really want me to take my lunch. Like, realistically, because technically I get a 15-minute break too still. So, you know, figure it the fuck out. So they were operating under her no calling, no showing that day. And I'm just like, look, I'm gonna need my break today. I'm sorry. I need lunch. I have to take lunch. I have to be off the clock for half an hour. I was like, I guess I could skip my 15 today, but I'm not going to be happy about it. But because you're in this much of a bind and it's this fucking busy, I was like, I guess I can not take that today. I shouldn't do this for you, but if you're going to be nice about it, then I will. And, so they're like, well, call me back when you're going to take lunch. I was like, all right. So now I'm up front, running the front end on my own on a fucking Saturday. It is slammed. Trying to keep track of the kids' breaks because, you know, we had minors working, so they had to follow the state labor laws. And I had to make sure that they were taking their correct amount of time for their breaks and that they were getting out on time. And then, you know, as slammed as it was up there, then they're trying to pull shenanigans on me. They're like, oh, well, I want to take my break with this person. Can we both go at this time? And I'm like, no, you're on the same side of the store. I can't do that. like, we've got this rotated so that, you know, one person from this side, one person from that side, and one person in the middle. Like, I could swap you to here, but that would have to only be for today, and I need you back by this time because you run register and this person can't, and stuff. And they're like, okay. They're like, I understand. So I'm trying to deal with them and make sure that they were all out on break, and I'm like trying to tell the assistant manager when they came up to give me my break, I'm like, look, this is what's going on. This person's out on lunch, this person's out on lunch. They're not due back before me. So you've got these X people to work with for register, and they're on these register numbers. And I've got this person coming in at this time, or supposed to be coming in at this time, and this person's supposed to be coming in there. So just, you know, letting them know what the fuck was going on before I bailed to go quick grab something to eat. I come back. That assistant manager, like, runs as fast as they can away from the front end. But I'm like, wait, I need change. You can't run that fast, and you can't run that far. I need you to get me change because the change drawer is about wiped out. So he went to do that, and it's getting to be on in the afternoon. And the store manager comes up at about, I don't know. I think he asked if I could stay till like 4 or something. And I was like, all right. And he comes up and he's like, hey, I need to ask you a really big favor. And I'm like, no. And he's like, please. And I'm like, I have plans tonight. Like, Russell and I legit had date plans for the night. And as far as I knew, Russell was supposed to be getting out of work within like the next half an hour, and we were going to meet back up at the house, change, and then figure out what we wanted to do for the evening. I think we were supposed to go to dinner, and I had not heard from Russell all day because, you know, I was working, and he didn't have a cell phone, and I don't think I had a cell phone at that point either. Or maybe I had my track phone, my pay-as-you-go. Maybe that's what I had. But, like, he didn't have one, so we couldn't, like, check in with each other throughout the day to see what was up. And I'm like, I have a date tonight. I'm busy. I have plans. It's the first night that we're actually going to be off together in, like, the last 6 months. Like, or something like that. Maybe it was 3 months. And I'm like, we made plans to spend the evening together because our schedules are so crazy and we don't see each other hardly ever, even though we live in the same fucking house. And he's like, then he got down on his knees up at customer service, and he's like, I'm begging you, please stay, please work a double, please. I'm like, I get another dinner. He's like, absolutely, you tell me when you want to go. He's like, I can't have my assistant manager tied up on customer service all night. We'll never get out of here tonight. I just think he didn't want to do any work and deal with the kids, because the minors seemed to annoy him to no end. Like no end. Like, it seemed like it was beneath him to interact with them sometimes and to stay on top of them and stuff. And it just, they like shot up his blood pressure or something. Like, he could not handle it. And I'm like, and you're a store manager? And I'm just kind of looking at him. I'm like, are you sure that this is okay? Because, you know, I was like, I don't want to get in trouble for working a double. He goes, no, it's fine. I'm authorizing it. And I was like, all right, but you owe me big time, buddy. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I have to call home and let them know not to expect me and to tell my fiance I'm not going to be home, that I got stuck here. So that way I can arrange somebody to come pick my ass up at 10 o'clock tonight, because I really don't want to take the bus home in the dark and be changing buses and all that shit in the areas that I had to go through. And he's like, nope, that's fine. He's like, go ahead, make your phone call. And so I made arrangements to get home, to get somebody to pick me up later, and mind you, I had been up since like 6 a.m. Fucking exhausted. This is not what I wanted to do. I did not want to work a double. I was pissed. So I get done for the evening. I'm exhausted. It finally slowed down a little bit where I could start to clean up the front end and try to make sense of life again. And nobody had heard from this coworker. So the next morning I come in. Now we got done at like, I think by the time we got out of there it was like 10 o'clock. A little after 10. Fucking exhausted. I had to be back at 7:30 in the morning. I was not amused, because then I had to get something to eat when I got home, because dinner had been like a lifetime ago, and it was like barely half a slice of pizza that I had ripped the cheese off of, because I was such a bundle of anxiety that I just could not eat something that heavy with the cheese on it. So I had pizza crust. I had bread that tasted like pizza, basically. And I come in the next morning. Same assistant manager from the day before is there. He unlocks the door. I come in. Starting to do cash office. Trying to muddle my way through. I'm about 2/3 of the way done resetting the tills. I think I had 2 more tills left, maybe 3. And out of nowhere, the office manager comes storming in, livid, scares the ever-loving shit out of me, and she starts screaming at me, "You need to be out of here by 11 o'clock this morning. We can't have any overtime this week. And, you weren't supposed to work." I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, stop. Stop right there. Stop. Listen to me. I did not stay because I felt like it last night. I said, if you're mad about me having extra hours from last night, because I think she could log in from the computer at home and check on people's hours and stuff, because she was part of the family that owned the chain. And she's like reading me the riot act, and I'm like, stop. I did not stay because I wanted to. If you have a problem with me staying, then you need to talk to so-and-so, because they were up front on camera at customer service on their knees begging me to stay because so-and-so was nowhere to be found. I was like, that was not my fault. I did not just stay on a whim. I would never just stay that late on a whim. I was like, you know me better than that. I was like, I had plans last night that I had to cancel. It turned out Russell got stuck and held up at work and he had to stay too, but I didn't know that at the time. And I certainly didn't tell them that. And I'm like, I didn't want to be here that much time. I thought I was here since 7 o'clock yesterday morning. I didn't want to fucking work a double. I mean, I didn't curse at her, but I'm like, no. And they're like, no, I know he told you to stay, but you have to be out here by X amount of time. I'm like, then why are you yelling at me? I'm like, stop yelling at me. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything I wasn't told to do. So, and they're like, where's so-and-so? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't heard from her. She no-called, no-showed that day, too. And I finished cash office as fast as I could. And when I clocked out right afterwards, I made sure that the store manager, I was like, look, I got in trouble. He's like, no, I know. She told me. And I'm like, so you let me get in trouble because you begged me to stay. That's nice. It's like, dick. And him and I didn't get along real well. He was always pissing me off. That particular store manager. Although the previous store manager had deep anger management issues, and he always had me a bundle of nerves too. But this one was just a prick at times. And she's like, yeah, no. I was like, well, I have to leave now. I'm being kicked out. I was told I had to be punched out by X amount of time. And he looked pissed and he's like, alright. So I was walking past customer service on my way out the door, and the assistant manager's up there running stuff. And he's like, whoa, where are you going? I was like, I got told I had to leave. He's like, what? I was like, so-and-so came in and told me I had to leave because we couldn't have overtime this week, so see you tomorrow. And I was home by like 1:30, and I was like, fuck it, I'm tired. Fuck all of you. I was like, we're gonna play stupid games because, you know, because I was supposed to be there till like 3:30 or something that night, and I think they were thinking about trying to get me to stay to closing and working another double. And when the office manager came in and ripped them all a new one for the overtime, I was like, oh shit. I was like, look, I get you're mad about the overtime or the potential overtime, but that ain't my fault. I mean, I tried to tell them no, I couldn't stay, and they weren't having it. I was like, I don't know what you want from me. This is upside down at the moment. This is the top that we're working on. I need to see what's happening up here. So I know our line's kind of like all wibbly wobbly. So we're definitely going to place the glass down this time. Hey, are you busy?
What's up?
Can you look up for me the price of, I think it's called a rotary cutter. I don't think we have one. I mean, there's a chance that we could have one in the sewing kit, but I really don't think we do. I think I'm calling it the right thing.
Depends on the kind that you want, but they run under $20.
Alright.
That's for Fiskars.
Okay.
Wow, what's up?
Well, when I cut our previous project earlier, that looked like it was the size it was supposed to be, something happened, and it was no longer a full 8x10. It had shrunk a little bit. So I'm thinking of taking the 8x10 glass and putting it on top and using the rotary cutter and just cutting around the glass so that we try to stay the correct size.
Yeah, that could probably work.
But I don't know if we have one in that sewing kit, because I don't. Okay. And I wasn't sure if we actually had one.
Nope. My mother might have had one at some point, but I have no idea where it might have ended up.
Yeah, because I know there was quilting happening in the family at some point, but I didn't know if any of that ended up with your mom. And I don't think the X-Acto knife's gonna work, and I don't think a cheap pizza cutter is gonna do it.
Nope.
I need something for fabric. Although for Friskers, I mean, you are paying for the name, but I also can't complain too much because I have a pair of scrapbooking scissors that were designated as non-stick from them that I think I've had for almost 10 years now, and they still work lovely. So I'm not sure if I don't want to pay for the Friskers name. They're hard to say. But I also don't know if I trust something else to cut through something quite so thick. And then have to turn around and buy the Friskers anyway. Was that on Amazon or Walmart?
That was Amazon.
That was Amazon. I wonder if I can use the 40 off coupon. Oh, wait, no, I don't think Joann's is... Wait, is Joanne still doing the 40 off coupon? Maybe it was Hobby Lobby that got rid of the coupon.
It's probably still not going to be cheaper than just getting it online.
I don't know. I'll have to do some digging later.
Well, we'll look at Walmart next time we're out that way.
Alright. Getting this guy tapped into here. What time are you guys going?
Oh, whenever I get to it. Probably about 6.
Okay. I was gonna say it's Sunday. I don't know if it really matters what time you go. Alright, that looks like a thin spot. Hard to tell because the colors are so close, but I think I want to put another piece right there. I mean, like, I have a paper cutter, but that ain't gonna cut this. Number one, the blade's not long enough, deep enough. And that's more for paper. Okay. Now, I do this. You don't have to do this. This is just something that I do. I find that the back lays a little bit flatter when I pull up, if I just kind of brush it back down a little bit. I would strongly suggest, if you have the felt or wool, let me look up this thing. I never know if I'm calling it the right thing. Let me look it up real quick, so I can't type with those on. Alright, needle felting mat. Needle felting pad. Okay, so this is a wool. It's wool. Okay. So this is the 8x10 mat. This was $18.99. There's a 5x6 one that's $13.98. So if you have the wool mat, so I just realized that it had popped up on stream. Sorry about that. If you have this wool mat, make sure, and I strongly recommend, that if you do use it, that periodically, well, more than periodically, frequently, you peel your project up off of it so you don't completely attach your project to it. If you're working with the foam mat, I don't know if that would really be as much of an issue. I think the foam mat, it would probably peel up easier off of, maybe. But the little bit of styrofoam needle felting that we did, you might still want to pull that up frequently just to be on the safe side. Alright, so we're almost done with this particular spot. So this is our upper sky portion that he did that weird Van Dyke brown crimson liquid magic white. Blend, shall we say. Looking at it, to me, it kind of felt grayish. We probably could have gone with the medium gray here to darken it down a bit, but the sky feels like it should be softer than when we get down towards the bottom. So I decided to make it soft gray. Now this is soft gray in the Big Twist value yarn line from Joann's. It's their in-house label. You guys can use whatever you want. You can use acrylic yarn, you can use roving, whatever. The acrylic yarn was a cheaper option for me, where I could get more mileage out of it for the amount and the price and the colors. I mean, I guess you could just buy a huge box of white roving or cream roving and try to dye it. That was going to get a little costly for me and a little more involved than I wanted to do. I just want to, you know, have my colors and go. But I mean, that's an option. But since roving's a little expensive for me in my budget right now, and for the amount that I need per color on some of these, it was just cheaper for me and more budget friendly for my very, very tiny budget to do yarn, and then take the extra time that's needed to do the prep work on the yarn. So I do have a video. Do I need to get him? Sweetie? Do I need to get him?
I'll get him in a second.
Okay. He looks like that hurts so much the way he's standing.
Here, give me just a minute, okay? Just a minute.
Like, Momo wants Russell to take him potty.
I know, you just gotta wait a minute.
I wasn't sure if you had noticed him.
No, I noticed him.
But, yeah, like, I have a video on the channel, sorry, I forgot what I was saying, that shows the prep work on the yarn. So you basically take one of these pet grooming brushes, sticker brush, get the metal ones, don't get the plastic ones. Plastic ones are gonna bend and snap and...
Yeah, the metal ones will just shred your thumb.
Ah.
Don't me! I've seen you after a long session of getting those things all fibered out. Don't give me that.
Yeah, but I'm getting better about not scraping my thumb.
I cheerfully point out you have not actually managed to get all of the colors that you got for Christmas sorted yet either.
No, I got trying to catch up on Planet Zoo, so...
Oh, is that your excuse? Oh, I don't have time. I have to catch up because Russell builds too fast.
Yeah.
Ah, I see how it is.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Well, that's the reason. Take it for what it is. So, yeah, husband and I are in the middle of a competition in Planet Zoo against each other to see who builds better, or whose zoo is better. We're in the same save file, and we split a zoo map in half as evenly as possible and have sections evened out, kind of like mirrored each side of the zoo, and we numbered each excuse me, inhaled some fluff. Or my sinuses are draining. Either one's possible. So we have like a mirrored zoo going on, and we're taking turns with the save file. And we're spinning a random wheel for what biome we're working on in that particular numbered section, and trying to see whose zoo is better in the end when we're all said and done. If our computers can handle that large of a file, we'll see. What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. Kid next door suddenly screamed, and Momo got like really confused.
Yeah, because there's usually nobody next door screaming. I didn't even hear it.
Want to get you a goodie?
So he builds faster than me, and he had a 2-week head start on me. In what we were doing, and then we realized, oh wait, that's a long chunk of time that Russell's not going to be building if we just wait on my ass. So we're building simultaneously now, which is the video that I was editing and putting up on the YouTube channel yesterday of my stuff, of what I've been doing in the background. But I might be back later tonight. We'll see. We might be doing a second stream tonight. Because Russell finished his section, his grassland section, and I finished my grassland section. So I might be coming on to do a second live stream tonight, starting our new section. I might be kicking things off this time. Since we have, you know, your fan's still on, right? You know your fan's still on?
What's up?
You know your fan is still on?
Oh, no, I didn't realize. I get it in a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, so I might be kicking things off tonight on a live stream, even though I don't have all the other video edited yet. I'll just make sure they go up on the YouTube channel in the correct order, because I have his Saturday live stream I still have to get from him. But it's probably gonna go what I've been working on, then his Saturday live stream, and then if I come back tonight. I'm gonna try to, no promises, but I'm gonna try to. Have to see how I feel after dinner and some house stuff gets done, and go from there. So the 2 nights during the week that I can probably try to squeeze in an extra stream, probably going to be Sunday and Thursday. He's streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday is not a good day for me to try to stream in the evening. He's going to be streaming in the afternoon, because I'm generally tied up with podcast stuff, and like post-production and all that happy shit. So I'm not always done early. It kind of takes up the majority of my Saturday evening. Sometimes I don't get done fussing with that, depending on the day and how involved the show was in, until like almost 11 or midnight. So that kind of depends. And then once it starts to get that late, I don't really feel like starting a fresh stream. So I kind of have Saturday written off as nothing of importance is going to be happening here on a normal basis kind of day. Alright. So I'm still not sure how I feel about this one. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I almost feel a little more confident after sketching it out, although I know this sketch just looks like a fucking mess. to a lot of you, especially since it's upside down at the moment. Like what the fuck is this? But you know, I kind of explained what was gonna be what in here as we were sketching it out. We'll see how things go here. As this one progresses. I mean, at the moment, I don't know. Confidence level on this one's like a 3 at the moment. Really don't know about this. Looking at this sketch, I feel a little bit better. But yeah, like right now, we're just kind of working on getting our upper portions put in. I don't know how much jumping around we're going to be doing on this one. I know he put in some water baseline there at the bottom. The watercolor, I think, is the gray mist from Paintbox yarn. Because I'm using 2 different brands of yarn right now. This color is soft gray from Big Twist Value. The other colors that I will be using periodically are from Paintbox Simply Chunky. So I don't know, I think we'll wait on the water till we get down there on this one, just to kind of feel this guy out a little bit better. Alright, we need a little bit more of this color coming in here. I think I need to go and check the water level on that pot. What time is it? It's 5:30. We might be wrapping up soon for today. Especially if I need to make dinner and then try to get back. So we'll finish up this color. And then I think that's a good start for today. So next week, or not next week, well, I guess technically it's next week, tomorrow, Monday. Next session. How about that? Keep forgetting tomorrow's Monday. And we have another art stream tomorrow. So tomorrow, we'll start to work on our pink in this upper section. And that should be the light rose from the Big Twist value line. And I keep saying value line because Big Twist has a couple different subdivisions, and I don't know if the colors are the same. Some of the colors I have from them I think have also been discontinued. So, at least from Joe, well, they're the house brand, so yeah. So, think before you speak. So I don't know if you can get those same colors that I have at the moment still, or all of them. Some of them you might be able to. I haven't been on their website in a while. I've switched to getting yarn from lovecrafts.com. The balls of yarn are a bit smaller, but they run some decent sales periodically. So, I've been enjoying that yarn a bit. Because I'm always on the hunt for something inexpensive for this stuff. Because, like I said, the money situation right now is really shit, so I gotta try to find bargains where I can. But I think we're yarned up pretty good for a little while at least. I might have to replace a white here. Not really soonish, but at some point. That's probably going to be the first color I run out of. Maybe. I'm just seeing if we're actually attached here. We had some runaway fuzz. Alright, so this is kind of where we're sitting at the moment. So I'm looking at it from a different perspective, a different angle. Seeing how we look, seeing how we feel about it. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright, so we've got our first layer in. It's a little hard to see. I mean, you can see that there's something there that's slightly lighter in color. Let's see our pen line on the outer edge. So next color coming in is going to be the light pink. Rose pink, light rose pink. Sort of like a dusty, pale pink. And that will be the next color coming in. And once again, since we are not very far on the tutorial, let me advance the tutorial to the very end so you guys can see what that's gonna look like. Where's my mouse? Keeps vanishing. There we go. My mouse goes to sleep. So what, we're about almost 3 minutes in on that. So this is what this one is. Nope, stop. Do we have a pulled out shot? Stop. Okay, it's hard to see because they did a lot of this weird pulled back 3/4 angle nonsense on this season. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. This is probably not supposed to be quite so far down. I think I might have been looking at reflections, maybe. So we might adjust that here, and if my pen will cooperate, we might like pull that up a little bit into there. But that's what we're shooting for. Don't know if we're gonna quite get that, but that's what we're aiming for. Our concept sketch, pretty close, not 100%. Oh, I cut myself. Not 100% dead on, but you know, it's not bad. It was just a really rough concept-y guy. So yeah, like we've got clouds and things all up in here, and and all of that. So, you know, it's a start. It's a slow start, but it's a start. So, tomorrow we'll be back to working on that. Let's see, do we have any friends that are... Click the right thing. I don't see anything on that page. Let me check the other one. Let me drop Bob here for a second. Sorry, Bob. Let's see. Sometimes it doesn't always show me everybody on the list. So I need to go back in and check another list. No, I don't see anybody else that I am quite familiar with, so we'll just end here today. Yeah. So thank you guys. I will see you maybe in a couple of hours for Planet Zoo. If not, then I will see you tomorrow afternoon, to pick up where we've left off. So thank you guys, and until next time, have a good one.